This is the Fearless Agent Podcast, where you learn how to make way more money fast selling real estate with your host, the Fearless Agent himself, Bobloeffler.
And good day to you. This is Bob here at the Fearless Agent Podcast for real estate sales professionals like you, where we explain that everything you've been taught by the entire real estate industry is wrong, and you will make lots more money in way, way less time by doing the exact opposite. And I am joined today by my guest host who did exactly that. His name is Ryan Haryu. And Ryan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Bob.
Oh, my gosh. He's got a professional radio announcer voice. I like that. And Ryan, where are you from originally?
Well, I'm from northern Michigan originally, a little town called Cadillac.
Aren't you thanking God that you're not there today? Or you're in Flagstaff, though. You're freezing your butt off anyway.
I'm in Flagstaff. I don't know if it's any much better up here.
No, well, today it's not. but normally it is, I think. So why don't you just begin by telling what you're telling the folks out there in radio land, as I like to call it, what your experience with Fearless Agent has been like.
Oh, it's been absolutely amazing. I mean, life-changing. So I got into the industry not all that long ago. June 15 of 2015, I got licensed. I failed miserably for a little while. I was doing cold calling on my own with all those other wackos out there. And I got hooked up with you. Let's see here. I think it was April of 2016. And that
how many transactions did you do the year before you hooked up with me?
In that first year, I think we did 12.
Okay, and how many did you close last 12 months?
In the last 12 months, last year, we closed 162. I say we, I mean me and an admin.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we will call that remarkable improvement.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Just a little bit.
So what did you learn that made that happen, do you think?
The first year or last year?
Well, I don't know. What you pick. Well, no. I know what you learned the first year that made the 12 happen. All the stuff that the real estate industry teaches you that doesn't work made that happen. But what did you learn in Fearless Agent that you would say you would credit for your success?
Well, I think I learned. I mean, obviously, what you teach, which is the science of sales. I learned how to get on the phone, get appointments booked, do a proper schedule or time management that would allow me to bring not only the business in, but manage it and get transactions into escrow, get sellers priced correctly so that they would sell. We would end up with multiple offers. I also learned, we don't get a ton of objections, but I also learned how to handle sellers and agents in the sense of being able to... You
mean agents say stupid things too? Are you kidding me?
No, I mean, say things.
I did not know that.
Be able to handle agents as they're coming in with their problems and getting
mm-hmm.
them to do exactly what I want them to do so that it's good for my seller.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just saying the one thing I think I learned last year that was probably the biggest eye-opener by the end of the year, and I'm good at booking appointments. However, the one thing I learned that really became life-changing for this year was really going through and actually pre-qualifying them better so that I don't waste my time going on unneeded appointments. So I would rather, I keep saying it over and over again, and I think it's really true across the board. I'd rather figure it out now or on day one or on the phone before I ever come.
My mentor, Floyd Wickman, used to say, if you're going to lose them on Friday, lose them on Tuesday. It's quicker.
Yeah.
What's the most number of listing appointments you have scheduled in a single week?
7.
Okay.
I did that back in 2017. Yeah,
okay.
7.
I remember you called me one day and you said, I think you were doing like 20-something or 30-something transactions a year, and you said, hey, I need to do 60. Now, of course, you've done 160, but we're going back in time, the good old days.
That's correct.
And you said, and I said to you, before you do 60, how much do you charge? And you said, I always charge 6% and I never discount my commission. Do you remember that conversation? Correct, yeah. So then I said, well, the first thing you're going to do from this day forward is charge 7% and keep 4%. And then you won't have to do 60 to make the same amount of money as doing 60. Yep. In fact, you wouldn't have to make really any more transactions. And I don't know if you remember this, but you weren't having it. You'd say, oh, no, Bob, you don't understand my market. And I did say, well, I live in it, so I think I do understand it. But and then I gave you a little challenge. And the challenge was, I said, do you have any listing appointments scheduled? And you said, yes, I do. I got this lady coming up. And I said, well, I want you to go on that listing appointment and promise me that you will charge 7. And if she says the words, I will pay you 6, but I'm not going to pay you 7, you will walk. And you took the challenge. So then we never talked about that for like a year. And then about a year later, you had called me up and said you had scheduled 7 listing appointments in 1 week. None of them canceled. You went on all 7, and then you listed 5 in 1 week. Yeah. And you had never taken a listing after that lady at 6. Wasn't that the story?
Yes, that's correct.
Mm-hmm. And it didn't kill you.
And I've never lost a listing over 7%.
Yeah, you've lost listings, but it wasn't because of that.
It's never been because of the commission. No.
Right. It's because of your jokes that you learned from me.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's the same.
Yeah, or maybe the seller was a little insane.
So this fearless agent thing isn't perfect, folks. That's what I'm saying. It will be a turnoff to some people, mostly women, I think. So but go ahead, talk about that.
I was going to say the funny thing is, so I've moved markets multiple times too as well. Mm-hmm. My wife kept moving me for her career, but when I moved to Flagstaff, the average agent up here, or I would say all of the agents up here, were only charging 5. If you had a 6% agent out there, that was pretty far and few in between. And so when I got here, they said, no way could you ever charge 7. Well, that's not true by any means.
It is true, but it exists only in your mind.
Yeah. It
because
really
what is also true is that you can charge 7 and keep 4, and that exists only in reality.
Yeah. Yeah. And the sellers actually, they never object to it. It's not even an objection. I was on a listing appointment the other day. I got to the end. She kind of beat me to the chase, and she said, how much do you charge, before I could give her what the check amount would be that I'd be handed her. And I said 7. And she goes, well, that's 2% more than the last guy. And I said, yeah, that's right. Any other questions? Mm-hmm. And that was it.
Right. So here's the way that works. Many times that would happen to me. I would say for the first time, when they're signing the listing agreement, is the first time we ever talked about it, because we had more interesting things to talk about up till then, like you do. And then right when I'm signing up, I say, I charge 7%, blah, blah, blah. And they'd say, well, wait a minute. I talked to 3 other agents and they all charge 5. And I said, well, let me tell you something that we both know. If you wanted to do business with any of those half-trained chimpanzees, I wouldn't be here now, would I?
Yeah.
And they go, yeah, that's right. I go, okay, do you have any other questions? And then they're signing them up.
This wasn't expired. She goes, the last guy charged 5. How'd that work out for you?
No, he actually charged 0.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you got what you paid for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the moral of the story is, whenever you take a listing these days compared to when I got you, you earn somewhere between 30 and 50% more on each paycheck. And the reason that is, clearly it's 30% more. The paycheck will be that much bigger. But the reality is, on that first 3% that you get, about 50% of that goes to expenses. But on that next percent that you get, there are no additional expenses attached to that. So it ends up being like a 50% increase in your paycheck. So if anybody is out there discounting their commission below 7. You don't need to do that. And honestly, the fact that you can't do it exists only in your head. There's no doubt about that. And would you lose some? Maybe. I've never had anybody say they did, but you lost when you were charging 6. You lost some listings to people who charge 5. I'll bet, right?
Yeah. That could be true.
Well, if you're going to lose them at 6, lose them at 7.
Yeah, and that's true. I don't really think if you set it up correctly, the commission isn't coming up to the end anyway. Mm-hmm. But even when I give them, how much I'm going to hand you a check, and you can make your plans on this number, I never give them the commission, right? I don't even. The first time they ever see it isn't when it's on the contract and I'm actually pointing it out. If they ask blatantly at the end, maybe I'll bring it up, but it's just not a point. We just don't talk about it.
Well, I'm going to let the folks out there in radio land in on a little secret that only you and I know, okay? Mm-hmm. Rule number 1 in sales, real estate, you never talk commission until they're sold on the price. You never talk price until they're sold on listing their house with you tonight, and you and your company, and you never talk about you and your company until they're sold on the idea of using an agent. So if it's a for sale by owner, you and every Fearless agent has a for sale by owner presentation that sells them on the idea of using an agent. And at the end of that, you say, now that you know the facts and the reasons, assuming I'm the world's greatest agent, isn't it a pretty good bet that you'd be better off with an agent? I mean, be honest. And they go, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I must have been smoking crack doing this for FSBO idea is crazy. What was I thinking? And then you say, okay, great. Well, let me show you how I work. And then you go into the Fearless Agent listing presentation, and then when they say, yes, we are listing our house with you tonight, you're the guy, no doubt about that, tell us what to do. Only then do you go into the pricing presentation, and then when you're done with that, only then would you ever mention the commission as they're signing the listing. So if you just do things in the right order, it keeps bad things from happening, of course.
Yeah, you don't have problems. That's true. Yep.
Now, I'm going to ask you some more questions. And by the way, if any of this makes sense to any of you listening in and you're earning less selling real estate than you wish you were and you're open to the idea of having some help, if you'd like to learn more, you can always call me anytime at 480-385-8810. That's my cell phone. And let's just see if what you're trying to do in your real estate career and what we do at Fearless Agent, if it would be a good fit. If it is, you're probably going to get rich like Ryan did. And I love talking to realtors. You're not bothering me, so don't email me, don't text me, because there is no email or text in sales. Always call me at 480-385-8810. If for whatever reason you would love to do coaching but you can't afford it, please visit fearlessagent.com. Watch our free webinar. It's about 45 minutes long. Take notes. Go to the video training page. My guarantee to all of you is that those free videos would be better coaching for free than you would pay any other coach in America any amount of money for. And if you ever have a question, of course, you can always call me. If someone's on the fence about coaching with Fearless Agent, what would you tell them, Ryan?
Well, I actually get quite a few calls from people that are thinking of coaching with you, and I say the same thing every time. You're not going to get anybody ever who's as good as Bob. And the other thing is that Bob picks up his phone when you call him.
Because I have no life.
Yeah, or he calls back in a reasonable manner, which is more than you can say about even the average agent who's out there. Mm-hmm. So you're just gonna do way better, overall. It's been life changing. I mean, I called you the other day. I got done with a listing appointment and thanked you. It has definitely changed my life. And I know we're swimming upstream against everybody else out there, but it's the right thing to do. Everything we do is correct for the sellers. Mm-hmm. And it's the right way to run a real estate business.
That's right. And your secret to success. Now you did 160, and there was people out there that. I'm sorry. I was rounding down. What the heck was I thinking? Yeah. So you did 162 transactions in a 12-month period. Now, a lot of people that are listening are thinking, how in the world would anybody be able to do it, or would I be able to do that? Well, that's what you were thinking. When you were doing 12, you never imagined you would do 162 ever. So when you're doing, if somebody out there is doing, let's say, 40 transactions a year, which is kind of my minimum first-year goal for anybody that I coach, if you're doing 20 a year and you're going to go to doing 40, the thing you have to give up is what got you the 20. What gets you 40 it has nothing to do with what got you 20. And when you're doing 40, you have to give up what got you 40 to do 160. So now you did tell me you got burnt out last year.
I did.
Which is never the goal.
No, it's not. It's funny you say that. I was pretty burned out come October, November. And that had to deal with time management, protecting my time, and just the amount of transactions.
And by the way, you have kids.
I do. I have 4.
Which is a nightmare. You have 4 kids?
Yeah, 4 kids.
That's like 3 too many. That's crazy. So, and what are their ages?
17, 15, 10, and 5.
Okay. Total nightmare. And do you have time to hang out with them?
Well, last year I didn't.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
and there really is no other way to say it. I mean, it just that many transactions, and we're not a team, and I would never be a team. We give all of our buyers away on referrals, so I did that basically with an admin,
I'm curious about that. What percentage of your income was from the referral fees of the buyers you farmed out to other agents?
Last year,
roughly,
maybe 20%.
Okay, well that's a lot.
Yeah, and in all honesty, a lot of times they just get ripped down and tossed away. We didn't have time to deal with them last year. Mm-hmm. We would get sign calls, and we were so seller focused that we didn't pass them on very well, and that was probably a big mistake that we made along the way. But this year it seems like I have a little bit better systems in place, so I know exactly who they're going to right off the bat. So,
well, you know what? When you're doing 162, you can make big mistakes and afford it.
Yeah,
but when
correct.
You're getting 20%, the 20% of your income that came from the referrals that you did, give out correctly, that was the highest dollars per hour you earned because you'd spent no time with those people. It was just free money.
That's correct. Yeah,
and the people you referred them to were happy.
Absolutely. The year before, I used to actually bring them in. We'd get them qualified with the lender, bring them in, do the buyer broker presentation, and then I would hand them off with a 50% referral. But last year there wasn't appointment slots available to have buyer broker presentations. So
that was a thing you had to trade off. My favorite guy in the whole world, Dr. Thomas Sowell, says there are no solutions in life. There are only trade-offs. So that is the secret. If you're going to do a massive increase in a thing, you're going to have to trade off some other things. So, for example, you missed out on hanging out with your kids. Some people would see that as a success, by the way, me included. But because of the way my kid is, she is snarky. Let me just say that she's got feedback. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like she's glad I have a job where I travel. Let's put it that way. But you can be. Tommy Hopkins once said you can be out of balance for a period of time to accomplish a thing, but at some point you can't do that forever. So you have to. So now you're no longer burnout. What was the thing you changed that you would recommend to others, but still keep the production very high?
So, this year, it's a big focus on not going on appointments that are not qualified. So not wasting the time on them. Like you said, you'd rather lose them. I mean, instead of losing them on a Friday, let's lose them Tuesday. And the other thing is on the appointment, we're gonna get up and leave right away if it's not going in the direction that we want it to go.
I'm glad you said that. So that's something I want to teach the folks that are on the line. You made me think of that. So when we do the Fearless Agent listing presentation process goes like this. First, you book the appointment. So when I'm on the phone, and now you are like this too, when I'm on the phone scheduling an appointment, I'm looking for any reason that I should not go. Right.
Yep.
So they say things like the word if. The if word is, I would sell my house if, and I go, ding, 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 gambler, not a seller.
Gambler.
Right?
Yep.
So then maybe I wouldn't go. But when I go, you ring the door, you smile, you pay them a compliment, you take them directly to the kitchen table, you do the expired list intro, you do the preview of coming attractions, and then you're going to do the four questions. Now, the four questions literally is the magic trick that is Fearless Agent, one of them certainly. And then I'm always saying,
where you win the listing. That's where you win.
That's where they say, hey, I'll do whatever you tell me to do.
Yes.
That's where they trust you at the end of that. So that's what there are no non-fearless agents that know how to do that magic trick. So during the four questions, which by the way could be 50 questions, I'm looking for any reason not to take the tour of the house, because then I get my time back. And do I want to see another house? If I never see another, I got a house. If I want to look at a house, I'll look at my own house, and I can smell it. It stinks. It's horrible. So if I take the tour and I come back and I'm do the listing presentation, during that I'm looking for any reason not to do the pricing presentation, not to talk price. So at any time, if I bail out early because I know they're a gambler or not a seller, then I get that time back, which I can spend with my family. Or get back on the phone and find somebody who's serious about selling their house. So the little rule of thumb for those of you out there in radio land, you're looking for sellers that have to sell. Because the guy that doesn't and you live in a second home market. Flagstaff, Arizona is a ski town.
Correct.
Lot of what do you know the percentage of non-owner occupant owners, full non-year-round residents?
I don't.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Would you say 50% of the time you're on one of those, or?
I would say, it's probably about 50%. Yeah. Most of these people were traveling actually to go see them. Just to say something on that. So we always say, smart, sane, friendly, tons of equity, and, dead serious about selling their house at fair market value right now. You could be smart, sane, friendly, but not have tons of equity, and we're not going to do business anymore. You could have tons of equity, but you're not smart or friendly. We're just not going to do business. And it's very simple when you just draw that line.
Right.
You just say, hey, I'm going to only do business.
Or not be serious about selling at fair market value, like last week's guy. We were talking about a guy like that. So when the people are not living in the property they're selling, they're not moving.
But their money's moving.
Is moving. Where is your money moving to? And sometimes people say, I don't have to move my money, until you explain what a crappy investment it really is for them compared to what other options they got. And then they go, oh, my God, I really do need to do this like it's an emergency. So I'm sure that happens to you quite a bit.
Yeah, and really that's the most intelligent conversation they've ever had with an agent, because nobody else has had that conversation. Really the time value of money. Where is it going to? Are you going to spend it or are you going to invest it?
Speaking of intelligent conversations, how often do you do the Fearless Agent investor presentation to people?
Last year,
I remember you had that guy that was a fix and flipper, and you did your investor presentation, and his wife said, we're never doing another fix and flip again. We're going to buy and hold.
She hit him in the shoulder with a good old fist punch. He actually bought that year. We sold 10, and I almost finished her up with another 10, but we only got to about 8. So they bought 18 houses.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that was from one presentation that no non-fearless agent knows how to do.
Correct. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, I just want to thank you again, Ryan, for being a great coaching student, a nice guy, easy to deal with. And if people want to send you business in Flagstaff, Arizona, can you also help people in the Phoenix area?
Oh, yeah. We still do work the metro market.
Okay,
we do both.
Your phone number is 480-993-6555. That is toll-free day or night for those of you who want to send a referral to Ryan Haryu. And I had an idea for you. I want you to, what's your middle name?
It's Alan.
I want to change it to I'm fine.
I'm fine.
I'm fine. How are you?
How are you?
Okay. See, that's just me being stupid, but what am I going to do? All right. That's a sad jokes. Yeah. Come here to the Fearless Agent Podcast for sad little man jokes. That's all I got.
Sure.
And Ryan, thanks again so much. And by the way, for the rest of you out there, once again, we want to thank all of you for joining us today. Please do visit us at fearlessagent.com. You can call me directly anytime at 480-385-8810. Please do give us a review on this podcast on iTunes, and you can visit us on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I'll be hanging out in the neighborhood. And until next week, as always, just have fun, because if you're a fearless agent, if it's not fun, we don't do it. Always, like Ryan, even though he has these amazing skills, he is humble. That's important. And most of all, be fearless. Bye, everybody.